got the white compass heading to fly. And they did well. And they were talking back and forth. They said, well, I think we'll overfly Midway and go all the way to Hickam. And so here's an E6 and an O1 deciding if they're going to overfly Midway on this great big transport with all these people in it. And they say, yeah, let's just overfly. We got plenty of gas in our speed over the water is such and such. And I checked it, and it was right. And so these two guys decided to overfly, and they woke the pilots up about an hour before they got to Hickam. They got in the cockpit and landed.
Did they know where they were? No, they had to know. Yeah, they had to know we're going to Hickam instead of.
Yeah, they had to tell the pilots we're landing at Hickam instead of Midway.
Yeah.
So once we got to Hickam, we got transportation over to Pearl Harbor, and this other pilot and I were registering in the BOQ. And as we were registering, I noticed two familiar figures walking up the stairs to the BOQ, and it was a pilot and a co-pilot of this lost PBY. And I ran over and kissed and hugged him because we played AC-Goosey all the way over on the carrier, so I knew him real well. And I said, what happened? And he said, well, we started jettisoning gasoline, and that PBY just went down. And we hit the water pretty hard, and we turned to the wind until we landed. A lady smiled. The whole world smiles with you. And I know this is a spooky story, but anyway, he said that once we hit the water, that PBY didn't stay on the water for more than 10 minutes. We got all the water and the life raft and the food out of it, and that thing sank right away. And we were in that life raft for 7 days.
Whoa.
And the only hope was to run across an atoll because the tide of the wind was taking us south. And he said they did see some aircraft once in a while, and they shot their pistol, and they never saw. And finally, out of the blue, a God-sent U.S. destroyer came right up and picked them up and took them to the harbor. The U.S. destroyer was going north and east and picked them up, found them in that Pacific.
I mean, you're talking about a needle in a haystack. Yeah, I mean, that is really, really, really.
So, anyway, I navigated all the way to Chai Formosa in a PBY, and that's my sea story.
I probably got to fly in one of those PBYs that you took to Chiang Kai-shek. I was stationed in Taipei with the Taiwan Defense Command, and he had two of them all decked out, you know, all flushed out, and I got to fly with him and Madam Chang one time to Kyushu, Japan.
I have to tell you that when we got to the VP-4 hangar, the commanding officer took us up to the second deck, and he had a photograph and a squadron the thing that came on the side of the airplane. Insignia. He had each airplane and insignia as they changed missions. The first airplane was this one, a PV-1 Vega Ventura. Yeah. It had two R-2800 engines, and our insignia was Snuffy Smith sticking a harpoon in the battle flag of Japan. Yeah. And he had that on the bulkhead as you went up the ladder to the second deck in that hangar. And then the very last one, the Skinny Dragons. And that's VP-4 today. And they're really a sharp outfit.
Always have been.
Yep.
Always
Yep.
have been. Yep.
And they're going to get 737s.
Yeah.
And the same airplane that I was in, going from Conneaut to Norfolk, and with a true speed of 455 knots, 37,000 feet. They have navigation equipment that tells them exactly where they are. They don't have to do that like I used to.
GPS is out there.
It's fantastic. I looked in the cockpit, and way down there was a little needle ball airspeed. You know, I used to rely on the needle ball airspeed, and they don't anymore. So that's what makes it look like an electronic thing.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, my name
We
is
could be
Talmage
in the
Morrison.
middle of next week listening to your sea story.
My name is Talmage Morrison. I was born in Los Angeles, California, October 1921. I went to my 70th high school reunion in June of 2009. I enlisted in the Navy in 1939, and I retired in 1969. I was mainly in P2Vs. During the Korean War, I was in VP-9. We were based out of Alameda, California. We had tours in Kodiak, Alaska, and Atsugi and Iwakuni, Japan. We flew P2Vs, and then at Fay 2 Pac, I was an ASW division officer, and then was sent to Hutchinson, Kansas, where I instructed for 3 years. Oh, I have to tell you about one of my students at Hutchinson. We had a German exchange pilot who was getting a refresher course at the Advanced Training Command, and they gave him to me. And